Hello, welcome to Dailyish for Thursday, August 27th. It's currently 15 degrees out. Feels like 15 degrees. This episode of Dailyish is brought to you. This is not a weather podcast. This episode of Dailyish is brought to you by FeedPress. Feed.press/Dailyish is where you can go to sign up for awesome podcast and blog analytics and hosting. So you can get 10% off your first year if you use the coupon code Dailyish at feed.press/Dailyish. This podcast is also brought to you by Patreon supporters like you folks out there, possibly. Patreon.com/iChris is where you can check out how you can support my podcasting efforts a little more directly. And related to that, tomorrow's Feedback Follow-Up Friday. So I got it right to everybody. Be sure to, if you have a question, suggestion, comment, feel free to send it in. Chris@goodstuff.fm is my email. iChris on Twitter, or there's the Discuss This Episode link in the show notes, which I should probably just rename Moonday's comment box, because so far she's still the only one who has commented, which is awesome. And like I've said, no judgment to those of you out there who haven't commented yet ever. I'm not, I don't hate you. We're still friends. We can still be friends. So some folks have mentioned, I've sort of briefly talked a little bit about the Patreon supporters are getting a video version if they want to watch that. It's probably I'll talk about it tomorrow. But one comment from a viewer in that sense, I guess, listener, was how much I actually talk with my hands on the podcast, which I don't talk with my hands really that much in real life. Like if we were sitting across the table from each other or in a group, I would not be gesticulating, I don't know, with my hands nearly as much as I do when I record a podcast. It has something to do with the fact that there's physically nobody in the room. Need to do something. I can't just hold them still and just sit here, it feels like. And I find myself actually, if I'll think back afterwards to a podcast, even in like an interview podcast I do or the YouTube podcast, I'm like gesturing with emphasis and things like that as I talk to somebody, or if I'm trying to like do a certain kind of sponsor read or whatever, it helps to like physically get into it a little bit, I guess, which makes sense. But it is kind of odd because I really am not that kind of person in real life. I tend to be fairly like put my hands on the table while we talk. If we're talking, sitting, having coffee or whatever, just sit there politely like a good boy and not talk, or not talk. Well, I don't talk either. It's I'll go there another day. Lots to do this week. Still playing catch up on the work business side. I appreciate all the folks who are giving support with Patreon, because it does help me just put a little bit of time into this and know that it's not just taking time away from family or work stuff that would pay for family stuff, food, etc., bills, all those kind of important things. It does help a lot just to know that there's a bit of money coming in from this as well. So on that note, I'm going to go. It's going to be a short one today. I'm also, for the video folks, I'm recording it with a little different way that may speed up the workflow. So I hope there is actually video. If there wasn't, I apologize. It'll be back again tomorrow. I'm thinking if I do continue with the video, it'll probably be like once a week, because that's probably enough, both for me in terms of timeline, as well as for viewers to like watch a video every single day is probably a little bit unrealistic, unless I'm not like Mr. YouTube superstar person. So, not that interesting to look at probably, but, where was it going? Yeah. So feel it. Oh man. Feedback Follow-Up Friday tomorrow. Be sure to send any questions. Chris@goodstuff.fm, email, iChris on Twitter. Discuss this episode link in the show notes. Follow Good Stuff at GoodStuffFM on Twitter. You can find this episode at goodstuff.fm/Dailyish/129. Thanks for listening or watching. Have a great day. Bye.